Hey guys, what is going on? So the quarterfinals of DreamHack Marseille are over, semi-finals and grand finals tonight, looking forward to that. But I asked you on Twitter, who do you want to see, what performance, and you picked the high fragging performance of S1mple, 42 frags dropped in this game. So if you're not following me on Twitter, make sure to follow me, top of the description box below to get involved in these kind of things. But without any further ado, let's get into round 9 here, which is where we're going to start this one off, which is where S1mple actually gets his first ace of the game. Multiple aces, not many players can do that, except for S1mple. And we're going to talk about exactly what he does in this one. So start off with some arch control from Navi. Very interesting. Notice how patient he was with Oscar. Oscar going huge in this one. A little bit lucky on the timing. I guess the CTs had committed to the double peek. You see Sunny and Oscar, right? Let's double peek this. Let's get the information for our team. The Molotov comes in at perfect timing, and S1mple's not going to miss those kills. He's just too good of a player. So those two players go down. And I want to talk about Zeus comes back over. He wants to clear out that no one's taking out this arch side. I guess he also wanted the AWP. He might, I think with his low HP, he might need that. But notice the information they have right now is that of the fact that there is no one really in this arch area, this kind of rotator spot, I guess you'd say, on the Inferno side. And it's probably most likely that the CTs are in the setup they're in right now after the 2 kills that came in. They killed the arch player and Oscar. And also the rotator coming in Sunny is what it seemed like. So you're probably going to have Chris J over here, and these 2 players exactly what you have. So what we're going to see right now is a fake from Zeus, and then S1mple pouncing onto the other side as soon as the players start to move. So you can see right now, it's just scoping. I think Chris J might have heard this. Look how passive he's playing this. I actually really like this from Chris J. He's just allowing the bomb plant, saying, guys, let's just retake this with our man advantage. The thing is, as soon as nothing is heard towards the A site and they hear the scoping towards B, it gives the indication that they're probably looking for some kind of pick on the B site. This is very common in a 2v3. You might look for an opening pick and then turn it into a 2v2, then trade the next kill, and then hopefully you win the 1v1, try and end up with S1mple in the 1v1. However, that's not what they're trying to do. And because there's only 15 seconds left on the clock, they know it's impossible for Zeus to run back towards the A site and plant there. So Rops and Sticker start thinking, okay, we got to move out here. We got to get into a better position to help out Chris J if they do go towards the A site. Give us most of the time. On the retake scenario, very hard to retake the B site. S1mple, however, is split up from Zeus. Again, very unusual. Normally, you'd maybe try and stick together, get a trade going or something. And you can see Rops is not at all aware that S1mple could be here. This is where S1mple becomes S1mple. You see his awareness. He got the cues of where Sticker would be and gets second kill. And this is one of the great things about S1mple and why he is such a complete player is he's got this intuitive, he knows when to peek, he's got very good awareness of angles, he can read the game really well, and then of course, he's just S1mple, and he just does that every time. Well, not every time, but you get what I mean, he hits his headshots, and that's one of the reasons S1mple is such a great player. We're going to actually see more and more examples of that as we go through this game. So I'm actually going to jump right along to the second half now. Look at some intuitive nature of actually S1mple and Flame in this particular round, a great force why they end up winning in this one. But yeah, S1mple does a great job of the T side. If you want to watch that demo back yourself, you can see how he does a great job setting up his teammates, getting 1 or 2 frags himself, which in a lot of teams would be enough to get a lot more rounds on the T side. Just Navi isn't the best, but we're concentrating on S1mple, who's obviously going to do his job. So the first thing S1mple loves to do is sit on the edge of smokes when they come in with an AWP or a scout in this scenario, get a tag off or a kill, and then fall back through the smoke using it as a good bit of cover. And that's exactly what we're going to see to start off in this one. And then the second part of this one, so you're going to see what I just talked about right now. And the second part of this one is, once Edward takes all the attention away with his deagle, I love the fact that this is where S1mple decides to come back through the smoke because he knows Edward's going to take a lot of the attention. Flamey does the exact same thing as S1mple, so you can see high-level players got the same kind of ideas going through their heads. Push through when Edward's taking all the attention, get your kills. Flame and S1mple get 1 kill each, and this force buy is completely locking down the full buy of Mouse Sports. So very quickly, S1mple's actually going to bait in Edward in this one, who has the SMG, going to farm some cash. So you can see he's going to be holding this angle to make sure no one can peek out wide for Edward. And if S1mple does have to fall off, Edward's in a great position to get these frags. But you can see Edward's just going to walk up here. He's going to get his little piece of $600. And that's just a great little bait and switch you can do, especially on these full eco rounds on the T side. Just try and get that SMG farming some cash, getting them quite aggressive, and building up your bank for the future rounds. Now, round 22 is quite an interesting one. A lot of different ideas coming into it, S1mple in a whole pile of different scenarios. I want to talk about all of them. So the first one's going to be Zeus pushing down middle here, and just going to be S1mple basically acting as his guardian angel, making sure he doesn't get peeked from middle as he's creeping down here. Until he gets in position, he can peek wide and try and catch someone off guard. I think he just gets spotted out, the timing just isn't there. But S1mple, I still love the idea. S1mple missing a shot there. He misses a couple in this one, but we'll let him off. He has quite a good round. But I just love that idea. No indication with utility that they're pushing down middle, but just something you can throw in every now and then. As I said, I'm all about giving you guys ideas. Hopefully that's been going on a little bit throughout this video. So again, we're going to see S1mple jumping through the smoke, and I love his awareness in this one to maybe sense the fact that Mouse Sports are running a 4-1 setup. So you see he comes through the smoke as before, finds Oscar, but this time he's re-peeking straight away. He works out it is a 4-1 setup, the rest of them are towards the A site, and allows him to rotate straight away. There's the second shot he could have hit, and I don't know if this is comms or just insane awareness, but that's the end of Sunny. Now the retake part of this round. So I'm going to talk about the smoke thrown here. You can see Rops is trying to crossfire towards Simple's position. This smoke isolates the site area so that Simple could potentially swing onto site without being seen. Rops makes a questionable decision to move out here, and you can see it gives Edward an easy kill. But the second part, besides that smoke for isolating the site, is the fact that Simple's really spamming right now. You can see he's trying to draw the attention of Chris J so that Edward could potentially get another easy kill. Chris J isn't having a bar of it, however. He doesn't fall for it. But Simple still comes in and cleans up the 1v1. But I definitely want to talk about that smoke. If you are retaking the A site, that's a very strong one to get rid of that crossfire we saw Rops and Chris J trying to set up. And then I love the idea of trying to just draw the attention of Chris J. It doesn't work in the end, but again, I'm all for new ideas. There is so many different ways to use your nades on Inferno, lots of tight choke points. One thing you can do if you're the AWPer down middle like this, you get here some presence towards second mid, like Simple in this scenario. Just toss your nade like so into second mid, and you can see huge damage onto Chris and Stiko, 2 of the rifles in this round. So again, just a great way to use your nade, something to mix it up rather than maybe pre-nading Banana if you're some kind of A player. Definitely try and chuck that one in every now and then. Now, I'll admit this one's a little bit more of a highlight play. The one thing you can take away from it, though, is the fact that Simple is very disciplined. He doesn't swing out wide straight away to the players jumping across. He takes out the player on the tight angle first. It's a common strategy maybe used with rifles and an AWP trying to bait in your AWPer, but you'll see straight away what he's going to do in a second. So, the wide peek's going to come in from the 2 players, still peeks close, holds the close angle first before peeking out wide, taking out Chris J and Sunny. And then this is just absurd. Look at this. He's just like he's doing one of those games where he says, guys, 1 bullet, and I get a headshot with my last bullet. And that's exactly what he does. 5 headshot ace. Incredible. Very quickly before we head into overtime, I want to talk about closing out games, managing your money, and talking about, especially on a map like Inferno, how important utility is. So as we all know, it goes into overtime. Mouse Sports are down 3 rounds at the moment. Flame and Edward have now saved. No one has more than $2,000 right now. There's no reason to be buying. You have 3 chances to close this out. Just eco this one. Let Flame and Edward maybe do a bit of damage. You can see the Mouse Sports economy is fine. There's not like there's any chance of them maybe having a bit of a mixed buy with some UMPs, so you can maybe close it out now. There's no reason to buy from Navi. They can just chill. And this is something a lot of teams seem to struggle with. A team like Australis is actually quite good at this. They're very good at just being disciplined, saying, let's just eco this round, we'll close it out next time, and that's all you need to do. You need 1 round to close this out, and it triggers me way too much. I should just relax. My heart rate's getting too high. But you can see Simple, Electronic, they're all going to buy up into this one, and the smokes are just too important in Inferno. Smoking off choke points like this, going for banana control, smoking here, top, middle smokes, they're just way too important. And you can see after this timeout finishes, Simple and Zeus have no utility. Electronic stuck on just a CZ, and I'd really just prefer to see him just wait it out, close this one out. You don't need overtime, just close it out in the 29th round, win this one 16-13, but no, that doesn't happen. They buy the rest of the game, ended up losing 3 rounds in a row. So moving right along to overtime now, Simple drops 34 in regulation. I'll try not to mention the fact that Edward dropped 20 less kills than him. Too late, I just did it. But we won't talk about that too much. We're going to talk some very basic banana control here. It doesn't work in this scenario, but I haven't actually included it all in this video. But Simple often throws flashes for his teammates to go for this banana control. A few less Molotov used by other teams, maybe Australis or whatever. Can be very basic, but you can see it doesn't really work too well in this scenario. It is a bad example, as I said. But one thing I want to talk about is the way that Simple just falls away from this one. Any good AWPer will do this. He does, however, stop at that wall to take an extra shot. A lot of other AWPers would maybe fall away straight away. Well, that's not really what we're too focused in. That's just very basic when you should fall off banana control. If you don't know that, you should probably definitely look at a few more demos of holding B banana. But to start off with, well, not even starting off, we're just going to continue, aren't we? We're going to talk about how Simple is so aware in this scenario. Again, this is just kind of showing off Simple's talent. There's not really much you can take away from this as an individual player to apply to your own game. But you're so aware of the fact that CT spawn was open, wasn't being watched by Zeus. Zeus is already into the site area. And Sunny doesn't really get anything done because of this, and I just love this awareness. This is one of the things that makes a great player as opposed to a good player is being aware of situations like that. Another thing I wanted to point out again is just the fact that Simple always just headshots people. In this scenario here, you can see he tags Oscar. So most people would think, let's just spam the body with this deagle. Simple says, no, I'll just headshot him, make sure he takes like 400 damage for the round. It's no harm shooting a shot through the wall as you're falling away. But one thing I want to talk about is Simple's utility in this one. A very good player at doing this is Zipex, so maybe Simple learn a thing or two from him. But again, great nade just to counter the fact that the molly control means there's probably someone top banana, 8 damage on a Chris J, could be worse. But again, I want to talk about the fact that S1mple realizes in this scenario that it's past the point where a smoke into the standard choke point is going to be any use at all. So he drops it to his feet. And you can see this creates the scenario where there's so many more angles for the T side to check. S1mple can cross all the way to new box as he's about to. He can hide in the smoke, peek back out this side of the smoke, maybe fall into dark. There's a lot of angles created by this. And he knows the fact that if he'd thrown his smoke right now, it'd probably still be bouncing off this wall and getting ready to pop about here. So the players have passed it. It's going to be virtually useless. No point at all. So there's great awareness for him. Drop it at his feet. Again, Zipex, if you want an example, an overpass is very good at this. Someone like Cold Zero or something, rotating into the B side of Mirage is also very good at this kind of scenario. So these are all different people you can look at, but this is just a great example here on Inferno. And you can see it allows him to play out one side of the smoke. You see S1mple loves his smokes, doesn't he? Comes back out here, again, crossing to new box, as I said. Finds new angles, Deagle headshot, how else would it be? And you see there's another angle right there, looking between new box and the smoke. And you can see the confusion this causes. Mouse Sports trying to enter in the site. They're nothing done at all. They're all caught here in the choke point, trying to work out what angles to look at, where S1mple's going to be. But that's really it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this condensed version of S1mple's 42 frags. Let me know what you think overall. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in a later video.